Hey folks, and welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. So, Jack Catteral is back in the win column after his defeat at the hands of Barboza back in February. He manages to prevail today over Harlem Eubank, though the method of victory was, well, it leaves something to be desired. The fight was stopped with 1 minute elapsed in round 7, stopped by the referee. And the reason it was stopped is there had been a headbutt. And Jack Catteral's cut looked really bad, but it was actually Harlem Eubank's cut that caused the ref, on doctor's advice of course, to say no more. So this was very unsatisfactory. And of course, WBA and IBF rules are that if 4 rounds are being completed before there's a headbutt and the fight has to be stopped as a result of that headbutt, then it goes to the cards. Well, in this case, the judges scored it 69-65, 69-66, 69-66, I think. In other words, a clear win for Catteral. However, this was not a fight that was pleasing to my eye at all. And it's arguable that I might have got up and made a cup of tea had there not been a headbutt which caused this sort of, issue. Because quite frankly, as much as people like Jack Catteral, to me, he is not fan-friendly. In other words, I don't really like watching him. Tricky southpaw, of course. Very difficult to win rounds off, of course. I mean, Barboza showed us how to do it, but not everyone's Barboza. There's something about Jack Catteral that, like I say, to my eye, he's just not my cup of tea. Full respect to the guy, very good, and he's got lots and lots of fans. So, just my opinion, right? I mean, I was hopeful that Harlem Eubank would close the distance and really put some leather on Catteral. I'm sure that that's what Harlem Eubank wanted to do as well, but he couldn't. Catteral found a rhythm, and Eubank seemed to be too far away. He couldn't get the distance going. And when he was throwing, you could see he was landing short. He wasn't really able to bring anything to bear on Catteral, which of course allowed Catteral to accumulate the points. It was interesting. They had a panel of boxers, a young lady, a guy, and then Josh Padley. He was the only one I sort of knew. And they all sort of had it as a draw, which, I mean, I think that was very charitable in Eubank's favor. But no, I think the right man won here. I think the decision was the right decision. I mean, you might have been able to give Harlem Eubank a smidge more, but no, not really. The right man won in a fight which probably everybody is going to be disappointed about, particularly Team Eubank. But also, I think Catteral, yes, a win is a win is a win. But I think Catteral is going to look back on this and say, it wasn't the win that I wanted to get. And I don't think that anybody now is going to be saying, Catteral is a real boogeyman in this division. I'm not seeing it, to be honest with you. But he's back in the win column, like I said. First outing at at welterweight. The smaller man, clearly the more talented man. But to win in such a fashion, probably isn't what he wanted. Hopefully the cuts heal for both Eubank and Catteral. I'm sure they will. Might take some time. I heard, I think it was Eddie Hearn, sort of talking about maybe possibly running this back. Not for me. I wouldn't get anything out of watching it a second time. I like Harlem Eubank, but I think he was, well, there was a class difference. But I think he also simply, at least in the first 2-3 rounds, he kind of didn't really know what to do. At least that's how it looked. So that was my take. Myself and some of the guys tomorrow, we will, having slept on it and look at it again, we'll probably come up with something a little bit more articulate than this. But this is my, just finished watching it. Just let you know what I thought. I'll also say, if you didn't see it, you didn't really miss that much. That's my take. Anyhow, thank you so much for watching. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a fabulous evening. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Thank you. Bye-bye.